Hi there. Welcome to today's Bible update. So glad that you could join me. I'm sitting below my country cottage. The cottage is my dream house, sitting alongside of a creek. The creek flowing out of the mountain of God across my room. The stream coming down passes through my room and flows to the painting above me into my country cottage. My dream home, like I said, something simple down a dirt path. Uh, Nobody will worry about the floor being dirty. uh, but a simple cottage along a creek. How beautiful. That's where I want to live in eternity. That's my heavenly mansion right there. So, today's lesson, speaking of mountaintops, matter of fact, I'll turn the camera. Uh, God told Moses, come up to the top of the mountain with your brother Aaron and his son Eleazar, because today I'm going to take Aaron home, because as I told you, he is not going to enter into the promised land. And so I don't think Moses told Aaron, said, uh, Aaron, you and Eleazar are going to go with me to the mountaintop. And when they got to the top of the mountain, Moses undressed Aaron, took off all the priestly garments, and put them on Eleazar, his son. And then Aaron died. Aaron had his problems in the beginning, um, making the golden calf while Moses was up on the mountaintop for 40 days. But 40 years had passed, and he served the Lord faithfully, even when his sons died for offering profane incense in the temple. Uh, he continued to serve. Now his son Eleazar is taking over as high priest and will be entering into the promised land. But not with Moses. He'll be going in with Joshua, one of the two faithful servants, and Caleb. Only Caleb and Joshua will be the only surviving people that were over 20 years old uh, at the time that the judgment was pronounced. Excuse me. And so Moses came down from the mountaintop, and the people lamented for Aaron for 30 days. They had shortly before mourned for Miriam, who died in Kadesh, where Moses struck the rock instead of speaking to the rock to produce the water, and when God had told him, speak to the rock. And Jesus is the rock of our salvation, and they struck Jesus and killed him. But now we speak to him, and he produces water for us, living water. That is the Spirit of God. And so in the book of Luke, Jesus, in the book of Luke, is led to Pilate to be tried, and Pilate said that he found no cause for the death penalty for Jesus. And so he sent Jesus away to Herod since he found out that Jesus was a Galatian, or a Galilean, I mean, and that Galilee was Herod's jurisdiction. Herod was very happy to see Jesus and questioned him thoroughly, but Jesus didn't say a thing to Herod. And they dressed him up and they paraded him around like he was the king, and they beat him and spit on him and did all kinds of wicked things. I believe they made the crown of thorns, although it doesn't say that in the book of Luke. It does in the other Gospels. And they brought him back to Pilate, but Pilate did not want to crucify him and wanted to release him, and yet the temple was full of all the wicked men that had brought Jesus in, and so when Pilate asked who they should release, those wicked men from the temple had the crowd stirred up, which was their friends, to have Jesus crucified and Barabbas released, who was a murderer and an insurrectionist. And they released the murderer and crucified Jesus. And Pilate consented to that, and they led Jesus to the cross. And a young man named Simon carried his cross because Jesus had been beaten so terribly he couldn't carry his own cross. So Simon carried it to the excuse me. Oh my goodness. Golgotha, which is a hill of the skull. And they didn't use the name Golgotha in the book of Luke, but you'll find it in the other Gospels. But it's the mountaintop just outside of Jerusalem. So they took him out of the city and they crucified him. And the sun became darkened at noon till 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and the veil of the temple, which is the separation between the high priest and God, tore down the middle, and there was no more separation between God and man anymore, because Jesus paid the price to take that separation between God and us away. And so there was a way made for us to be made whole with God again through Jesus Christ and his death on the cross. A terrible price to be paid, but he paid it all for us. And Joseph of Arimathea was on the council, and he did not consent to Jesus being crucified, and he took the body of Jesus and prepared it in another of the disciples in the Sanhedrin who had come to see Jesus that we read about in John chapter 3, took the body of Jesus and prepared his body before sunset so that the body would be in the grave before sunset, and that they could celebrate the Passover also. They got that done, but the body needed to be finished on Sunday. So the women took notice of where the grave was. They knew the grave was a grave that was never used, and it was freshly cut into the stone mountain, and so they knew where to come and finish the preparation of the burial on Sunday. And so Jesus goes into the grave 3 days and 3 nights, just like he had said. And there'll be a resurrection on Sunday. You have a blessed night. And I hope that my children didn't ruin this video too bad. I praise you for watching this evening, and do thank you for watching. Bye-bye. God bless you and have a great night. In Jesus' name, amen.